the two little arrows, that means that they are parallel to each other. And then this line here, the transversal, is the one that intersects the two lines. So what I want you to do with your color, whatever color that you picked, you're going to highlight your transversal. Transversal. Okay, I'm going to highlight my transversal. And then this one doesn't have a relationship, but we're going to write a sentence that says line M is parallel to line N. Now, without writing the whole thing out, we're going to use symbols. And here's the symbols that we use. Instead of actually writing the word parallel, we use a symbol, and it looks like straight up two parallel lines. So this sentence says line M is parallel to line N without me actually having to write the words. Okay, parallel to each other. Now, when we have our two parallel lines here, there are different angles that are being created at the top and then different angles that are being created at the bottom. The transversal line is going to change up essentially which angles and which relationships you have between those angles. So my first one here that you see is called alternate interior angles. Can I have somebody read that one for me? Alternate interior. So we're going to start by highlighting our transversal line right in the center. And we're going to mark our two parallel lines with our arrows. Okay. Now we've got two angles here that are called alternate interior. What does the word interior mean? On the inside, yes, inside. So think about, here's your two parallel lines right here. Everything that's on the interior is inside of those two parallel lines. So this whole area from here to here, that is interior. It has to be inside. What's the word called if it's on the outside? Oh, exterior. There you go. So now I've got two angles that are marked here for me with the little arc marks, those little swoops. I've got an angle right here, and I've got an angle right here. They are on opposite sides of the purple line, opposite sides, alternate sides, and they're both on the interior. Now, if you were to look at those two angles, what do you notice about the shape of the two of them? What do they look like? They look like a what? An H. Okay. What else do you notice about them? A circle where? It looks like half a circle. Okay. What about the size of the two of them? Do they look like they're the same or do they look like they're different? They look the same. Yep. Good. These two angles are exactly the same. They are congruent. Same size, same shape. Congruent. That means they're exactly the same. So if this angle right here was 20 degrees, what does that mean this angle over here has to be? 20 degrees. It better be exactly the same. Now, instead of writing the word congruent every time, I want to write the symbol for congruent because mathematicians are lazy. We don't like to write the words out. Does anybody remember what the symbol looks like for congruent? Yes? Sydney? Yeah, it's got like a little squiggle up right above it. Yep, it's got an equal sign with like a little squiggle at the top. Good. Good job, Sydney. All right, there's my first relationship. Alternate interior angles. My next one is called alternate exterior angles. Exterior, what does the word exterior mean? Outside. Okay, so in this picture, you've got the same thing. You've got two parallel lines. You've got your transversal right through the center. So every time I'm going to highlight my transversal. You want to go through and just highlight them all. Save some time. Okay, there's my transversal. I've got two angles here that are on opposite sides of the purple line. Alternate means opposite, but they are on the exterior, the outside. So if you were to look at the shape of the two of them, do they look like they are the same or do they look like they are different? They look exactly the same. Good. So they are the same. They are congruent. Again, if this angle was 20 degrees, what does that mean this angle is? 20 degrees. It better be the same thing. Okay, so with parallel lines, essentially, if they look the same, they are the same. Next one. Same side interior angles. So interior means what? Inside. Same side literally means on the same side. You might also see the word consecutive. Consecutive or same side. Those are synonyms. They mean the same thing. So in my picture this time, again, I have two parallel lines. And now I've got two angles that are on the inside, and they're on the same side of the purple line right here. Now, if you were to look at those two angles, do they look the same? No, one looks way bigger than the other, right? Yep, this bottom one is definitely bigger than this one over here. So they are not congruent. They are supplementary. Who remembers what that word means? It's what? Supplementary. You got to know that word. Yes?
Doesn't mean that added together is 180.
Perfect. They add up to 180. 180 degrees, which is, what shape does 180 degrees make? A straight line. Yep, 180 is a straight line. So here's the whole thing. When it comes to parallel lines, you only have two choices. Either they're exactly the same, or they add up to 180 if they look different. That's it. Those are your only two choices. So it's got to be one or the other. So if they look the same, they are the same. Next one. Same side exterior angles. Means angles that are on the same side of my purple line here, but they're on the exterior, which means what? They're on the outside. Now, if you were to look at these two angles, do they look the same or do they look different? They look different, so they are supplementary. Add up to 180. Okay, almost done. Questions so far? Feeling okay? Next one's called, the last one that we haven't seen yet, it's called corresponding angles. Can I have somebody read that one for me? Corresponding. Louder. Okay. So again, I've got my parallel lines. Thank you. And this time, what do you notice about the two angles? Are they on the interior? Are they on the exterior? Or are they both? They're both this time. One's on the exterior, one's on the interior. Now, notice the position of the two of them. Are they in the same position? What? Yeah. It's like a, think about it as like if I were to copy this angle and paste it below, they're in the same position, right? It's a copy paste. So are they the same or are they different if you're copy pasting? They're exactly the same. Yes. So they are congruent. Exactly the same. So if this one was, let's say 100 degrees, what does this one have to be? It better also be 100 degrees. Yep, they're exactly the same. Okay, now the last two we've already seen before. You already know these last two. A vertical pair are two angles that make an X. Remember that one from before? Making an X. They're right across from each other. And are they the same or are they different? They're the same. Vertical angles are congruent. They're the same. So if this one is 100 degrees, what's this one? It better be exactly the same, 100 degrees. Good. The last one is a linear pair. You know this one. What's the root word there? Line, what do you know about a line? It's straight, what else? How many degrees are in a straight line? 180 degrees. So if you look at these two angles right here, here's my parallel lines. Forgot to mark them over here. Do they look the same or do they look different? They look different. They are supplementary. So if this first angle is 100 degrees, what does that mean this angle has to be? 80 degrees. Good. They better add up to be 180. So here's what I want you to notice. You only have two choices. Choice one, they look exactly the same. They're congruent. Choice two, they don't look the same. They add up to 180. Those are your only two choices. That's it. Okay, that's literally it. So don't try to do anything else. They either add up to 180 or they're exactly the same. Do I have questions so far? Are you ready to do an example or two? Okay, I'm going to flip to the next side of my notes here because I don't have enough space. So we're going to do two examples. And then we'll get going on our little activity. All right. So for example one, maybe you want to flip to the back. Maybe you want to do it underneath if you can write really small. But I don't like to write small. So you're going to start by drawing two parallel lines. We'll name that line M and N just like we did before. And then you're going to put a transversal going straight through them, and I'm going to make it a little diagonal here. Put a little T by it because that's my transversal. Okay, two parallel lines, and you're going to mark your parallel lines with arrows. And then you've got one transversal going through it, and I want you to highlight your transversal just like we did before. Probably should pick a different color since I'm using purple. Okay. Now we're going to number all of the angles. There are 8 different angles in this picture. And I'm just going to go around in a circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, all we're going to do is I'm going to give you some of the different angles, and you're just going to tell me the relationship between the two of them. That's it. I just want to know what the relationship is. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is angle 2 and angle 7. Angle 2, here's angle 2, here's angle 7. Okay, so first step. You want to identify if they are interior, exterior, or both. Raise your hand if you think those two are interior. Raise your hand if you think they're exterior. Raise your hand if you think they're both. Raise your hand if you're not sure. Hey, I'll take it. So here's my parallel lines. Which ones are your interior angles, or inside? 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yep, this is your interior angle in here. Maybe you want to mark that. This is interior. And everything else would be exterior. Okay, so angle 2 and angle 7 are definitely exterior. Are they on the same side or alternate sides of my transversal? They're on opposite sides, right? One's to the right of the line, one's to the left of the line. So they are alternate exterior angles. That's it. I'm not going to write the whole word if you don't mind. I'm just going like this because I'm lazy. Alternate exterior angles. That's it. And what do you know about alternate exterior angles? Are they the same or are they different? They're the same. Yep. Easy peasy. That's it. Ready for another one? All right. angle 4 and angle 6. 4 and 6. Step 1. Interior, exterior, or both. Raise your hand if you think they are interior. Raise your hand if you think they're exterior. Raise your hand if you're still not sure. Good, they're interior. Now, are they on the same side of the purple line or on alternate sides of that purple line? Same side. So what do we call these angles? Same side, interior angles, exactly. Same side, interior angles. Easy peasy, right? Let's do one more. How about angle 1 and angle 5? 1 and 5. Okay, step 1. Are they interior, exterior, or both? Raise your hand if you think they are interior. Raise your hand if you think they're exterior. Raise your hand if you think they're both. There you go. There's only one that has both. Which one is it? So look back at this side. Which one is the only one that's got one on the inside and one on the outside? Corresponding, yes. Corresponding means they're in the same position. It's a copy paste. So if I copied angle 1 and just dragged it down below, it'd be in the same position as angle 5. These are corresponding. Okay, good. How do you feel? Feel good so far? What time is this period over? 2:47. Okay, but just enough time. All right, we're gonna do one more example. Again, I'm gonna draw 2 parallel lines. But this time I'm gonna put my transversal going the other way. Same picture, essentially. I'm going to label the numbers exactly the same as before. 1, 2, 3, 4, in the same order. And then I'm also going to highlight my transversal line. Highlight my transversal. Okay. So here's what we're going to do this time. I'm going to give you just one of the angle measures. You should be able to figure out all of the other ones if I give you just one angle measure. Okay? So I'm going to give you, what did I do before? Okay, I'm going to tell you angle 1 is 32 degrees. You should now be able to figure out all of the other ones. So I want you to fill it in. Every angle that looks the same better be exactly the same. Take a moment, try to fill it out. You know angle 1 is 32 degrees. You should know a bunch of other ones super quickly. Take a second, give it a try. All right, who can raise their hand and give me one angle that they know for sure. One angle that they know for sure. Kavari, what do you think? What?
7.
You know angle 7. What's angle 7? 32. Why? Okay. But when you're looking at exterior, they have to be on, they have to be on which sides? Alternate. They have to be on alternate. Oh, I'm frozen, my bad. They have to be on alternate sides to be the same. So if you're doing what you just picked, Kavari, is same side exterior angles. Angle 1 and angle, you said 7, right? 1 and 7 are on the same side. What does that mean about them? So if you were to just look at these angles, here's angle 1, here's angle 7. Do they look the same?
No.
Are those swoops the same, like, distance? No, one of them's bigger than the other. So if they're not the same, they have to be what? Starts with an S. They have to be supplementary, which means what? Adds up to 180. So how could I figure out angle 7? Oh, it should be 180 minus 132. Or sorry, minus 32. And you get what? 148 degrees. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 arc marks to show that this one's a little different than the other one. It's 148. Number 8 should be what, Kiki? Why? Has the same one? Say it louder. So these ones are alternate exterior. They better be the same. This is 32 degrees. And you should also notice that these two make a line. Okay, what's another angle you know? Raise your hand and give me another angle you know. Another angle you know. We like put arms up, then we put them down. That was a little aggressive. Sydney, what do you think?
What is 2B 148?
Why?
Because they're the same.
Why?
This line is equal 183.
Line's 180, and you already got 32 of the 180. Good. What are you noticing here, friends, so far? What do you notice about these two versus these two? What do you notice about the numbers? They add up to 180, and they're all exterior. Okay, good. What's angle 3? It would be 148. Why? Because it's vertical, and guess what? It's also making a straight line. Oh my gosh, what's angle 4? 32. What do you notice here, guys? It's going to be exactly the same. Yeah, parallel lines means everything that's happening up here is happening down here as well, the exact same thing. So what should angle 5 be? 32. And what should angle 6 be? 148. So notice, my dears, that you literally only have 2 numbers for all of them, right? It's just a copy paste down below. So if you know one angle, you should be able to get all of the other angles. Angle 1, 4, 5, and 8 are always going to be the same here. Maybe we write that down. Angle 1, angle 4, angle 5, and angle 8 are all congruent.
What if they're not?
They have to be if they're parallel.
They have to be?
They have to be, yes. So parallel means whatever's happening at the top, the exact same thing's happening at the bottom.
Okay.
What other 4 angles have to be the same? So we said 1, 4, 5, and 8 were the same. What else is going to be the same? 2, 3, 6, and 7. Yep. Angle 2, angle 3, angle 6, and angle 7 are congruent. So essentially, you only really have 2 numbers the whole time. That's it. Either it's the same or it adds up to 180. All right. Now take a look at the paper I just gave you. It's got a little maze on it. Take a look at that paper. Woo, only got 10 minutes left. Okay. Here's what the maze is going to be, and it's going to be some homework because we're not going to finish it. Oh, man. Okay, here's what you do. For each one, you are going to determine their relationship, and then once you determine their relationship, you're going to solve for x. So I'll show you what I mean. If you start over here on the far left where it says start, first thing I'm going to do is highlight my transversal. Thank you. Then I'm going to take a look at the angles that I'm given. I'm given angle X right here and angle 80 right here. Boom and boom. Okay, first of all, let's just do the relationship first. Are they interior or exterior? Are they on the same side or alternate sides? Okay, so that means they are alternate interior. What do you know about alternate interior angles? Are they congruent or supplementary? They're congruent. What does that mean X has to be? It better be exactly the same. Okay, so X is 80. That means I'm going to follow the 80 and go to the next problem. So it should push me to the next problem. Now we do the same thing. I'm going to highlight my transversal. Okay, I give you 110 over here, and then I give you X over here. Are those the same? Heck no. If they're not the same, what does that mean? They have to be supplementary. Good. Okay, so that means they add up to 180. If you've already used 110 of the 180, how do you figure out what's left over? You what? Say louder. You get 70, you just subtract them. 70 degrees. So you find the 70 degrees, boop, and you follow it along. Does that make sense? So essentially you're just following it. It's just some quick addition or subtraction. All right, last one. Here's my transversal. I give you angle X and angle 120. What kind of angles are those? They are not linear. Vertical. Linear, they'd have to be right next to each other. These are across from each other, so they are vertical. What do you know about vertical angles? They're what? I cannot hear you. They make the X, and what else do you know about those vertical angles? Are they the same or are they supplementary? They're the same. So what should my X value be? Woo, 120 is the same. Yep, 120. And then I go on from there and continue. Does that make sense? So here's what I want you to do. For each one, just like we did, write the relationship first and then solve for X once you're done. Okay? Does that make sense? So highlight your transversal, write the relationship, and then solve for X. Look, you only have two choices. Either they look exactly the same, and they are the same, or if they look different, they have to add up to 180. Those are your only two choices. That's it. So don't fall for anything else. Okay? You guys have 10 more minutes. I think you can actually probably finish in 10 minutes. If you don't finish in 10 minutes, you've got some homework, and we're going to check it tomorrow in class. Do not worry about the back side. We're going to do the back tomorrow. So just worry about the maze on the front, and that's what I'm going to grade you on tomorrow in class. You're going to get a grade for it.